Here with reaction, former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, Fox News contributor Kellyanne Conway, Project 21 Chairman Horace Cooper. Kellyanne, start with you. Thank God that rocket got up and had a successful launch today. We now pray for its successful return and the return of these astronauts.
Yes, it was the 8th consecutive week of the triumph of Donald Trump's second term, and it was capped off by this amazing feat by Elon Musk. So the Democrats are trying to paint him as a four-letter word. They are completely obsessed with him. If it's not TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome, it's EDS, Elon Derangement Syndrome. And the way most Americans see Elon Musk, Sean, is what you saw tonight, which is a genius, somebody who makes stuff. Somebody doesn't give up the first time something fails. The rocket doesn't go up the next time he goes. It's American exceptionalism and American resilience. Also, they see him as somebody who's just launching, we can cure diseases. We can find scientific discoveries if we actually go to space responsibly. But while the Democrats were obsessing over Donald Trump and Elon Musk, Donald Trump was bringing peace. He's trying to broker a peace in Ukraine and Russia. He's trying to broker peace in the Middle East and bring that remaining living American hostage, Elon Alexander, home. This week, we saw wholesale inflation down. The price of eggs go down. Mortgage rates go down. Dereg go down. Consumer confidence going up. Everything is turning up Trump. And now the Democrats, who have had no direction since the election, they're in their 4th consecutive month. Their only answer to everything is Trump, Trump, Trump. I want everybody to know what they voted against tonight. Only 2 senators voted for this package. That means the rest of them voted against more border funding and more defense funding. People should know that. And even Chuck Schumer waving the white flag, crying Chuck, crying again, this time and surrendering to Donald Trump. Sean, he did not say this. We're doing this for policy reasons. He said, quote, the political consequences of shutting down the government are even worse for us. Those people are all about politics. Donald Trump is all about policies and America First principles, and he's winning it every single turn.
Mark, you were the first to tell me that you believe that, in fact, the CR would pass in the House and in the Senate. After all the years the Democrats have condemned government shutdowns, I'm not as afraid of a government shutdown as most people are, because most people end up getting a furlough and then they get back pay and they end up getting a free vacation, and essential services always end up continuing anyway, and they get to the end zone at some point. So I don't really have that fear, but it is in the best interest of the country that it didn't happen.
Well, it is, Sean, and as you and I talked several days ago, the reason why I was so confident is because the work that the president has been putting on in behind the scenes. I mean, for days and days, if not weeks, he's been working with members both in the House and the Senate to actually give him the tactical flexibility to make sure that this happened. Listen, there's a rocket in orbit tonight that Elon Musk sent up into space, but there's somebody else that's in orbit. Most of the left have gone crazy tonight just because they think that Donald Trump and the American people, I might add, are winning. They believe that it's best if you actually expand the role of government. But I can tell you the American people rejected that in November. Listen, there's talk about new leadership in the Senate and in the House, but it's not about their leadership, Sean. It's about their ideas and their priorities. It's time that we put America first. Donald Trump is doing that. And quite frankly, tonight was a good night for America, and it will be the start of a real effort over the next 6 months to limit the size and growth of government.
Horace, to me, to follow up on Mark's point, is the party has been so radicalized left. If Schumer, if Hakeem Jeffries, if they want to stay empowered, they have no choice but to give in to that wing of their party, because that is almost the totality of their party. Am I wrong in believing that the Schumer cancellation a countdown clock is officially ticking? Because I don't think he's going to be able to thread this needle that long.
Well, there's no doubt that radicals have completely overtaken the world's oldest political party, and they are taking it underwater and holding it for as long as they can. It is devastating. This has been an amazing week for America. Interest rates dropped. Fuel prices dropped. We saw a rally come back in the stock market at the end of the week, and egg prices dropped. And then a government continuing resolution that actually prioritizes making sure we protect our borders while ensuring that we maintain the flexibility to reduce the funds that we need to. We, as a country, face a $36 trillion debt monster. And were it not for our president taking the lead on that, because many on the left are unwilling to stand up and be accountable. Apparently, a couple voted for the continuing resolution, but then it's just a question of how quickly we're gonna see them get attacked by the crazies on the left. They're killing their party, and the only thing they seem to be able to do is kill it faster.
You know, you can add to that, and this has been growing and growing and growing, and the left and the markets were a little skittish for the better part of the week until today, Kellyanne. But there's a lot of other things that are happening that people don't want to seem to pay attention to. Honda and Nissan were scheduled to build plants in Mexico. Now, as a result of the president's policies, they're going to build those factories here. Apple investing $500 billion in 4 years. They're going to build a plant that's going to be built in Texas. Then you have this Taiwanese chip company. They're going to spend over $100 billion. They're going to make chips here, which is a great idea, and I think it's good for national security. And I have sources telling me this is the tip of the iceberg, that there are multiple, companies that will be investing hundreds of billions of dollars. To me, great news. High-paying career jobs for Americans. That's the reason I bought a Tesla this week. They're demonizing this guy. They're terrorizing his facilities. And who's going to get hurt? It's not going to be Elon Musk that they're going to hurt here. Well, although they're threatening his life. But it's going to be the people that work for him in the dealerships. It's going to be the people that manufacture those cars. They're the ones that are going to get hurt because the radical left is so vicious. What do they hate this guy for? What did he do?
Oh, he beat them at their own game, and he no longer is a Democrat. He's actually trying to make government more efficient by exposing the ridiculous, copious amounts of money we spend on nonsense things that are offensive and odious to many Americans, and he'll continue to do that. Sean, I'm often asked what's different about this White House. You worked in the last White House. What's different about President Trump? Let me say there are three external factors very quickly that are different, and this is important. One is the country is more aligned with the Trump agenda. He has been elevating trade, tariffs, and manufacturing and illegal immigration, border security for years, and now the country agrees with him. All 7 swing states and nationwide. Number 2 issue last fall. Number 2, his relationship with the House and Senate is extraordinary. The way he's working with them, even with slimmer margins, keeping in touch with them, finding out what the holdouts need and want to get on board, trying to invite Democrats to come over and vote for good things for the people in their states and their congressional districts. And the third thing is you've got all these corporate titans lining up, begging all of us to go see President Trump. I must see President Trump. I must see, I'm coming to town. I must see President Trump. And they want to come with hand outstretched to offer investment. We're going to get to trillions of dollars of investment, expanding the American footprint. America is back because there won't be the 100 corporate incursions we had last time, people parking wealth and jobs legally overseas. That all stays here now because of Tax Cut and Jobs Act, dereg, energy dominance, the aforementioned DOGE, the smaller federal government footprint, and yes, trade policy. So you're going to continue to see healthcare companies and tech companies and service and goods companies come and say to President Trump, I want to stand by your side and announce a big investment. Will you come and cut the ribbon on my new facility? It's just amazing.
What about, Mark, you know the ins and outs of the reconciliation process, and I don't know if there's going to be one big, beautiful bill or 2 bills. But the sooner that gets done, in my view, the better it's going to be for the American people. That'll help get the economy on track. We're currently living under the Biden-Harris economy.
Yeah, just like President Trump has been working behind the scenes on the continuing resolution that passed tonight. He's been working for several months. He and his entire team have been working. And yes, as we start to look at that, he's committed to make sure that most Americans do not get a tax increase. Why? Because what he has to do is act quickly. He's going to have to act just with Republicans. The Democrats don't mind a tax increase going for the American people. But I see that getting passed. I believe that happens the middle of May. And so I'm very optimistic that tax cuts are on the way, not just for those that seek to do it, but also for those that are creating jobs. As Kellyanne was talking about, it is time for America First manufacturing to come back, and the president being willing to take the hard choices to make it happen.
And Horace, it's a misnomer. The bottom 50% of wage-earning Americans, they pay about 2% of the tax revenues into the government. We already have redistribution. There's not an unfair burden on working men and women, and Donald Trump wants to even lower that level from where it is now. Last word.
We absolutely need an America where those who work hard, those who apply themselves, those who are inventive, get the benefits for that. Donald Trump has promised America this golden age where we will return to this pro-capitalism, free market, free enterprise, prosperity era. The Democrats are crazy. They can't stand it, but that's where we're going to go. And if we got to do it alone, Donald Trump apparently is willing to do so.
That pretty much sums it up. They're crazy. I agree. I think we all agree. We're living in crazy times, but you know what? We have an opportunity to fix and save the country from what was a trajectory that would have been a disaster. Thank you all. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.